Hey, GM fam. Welcome back to another episode of Behind the Avatar. I'm your host, Crafter. And today I'm chilling with Fred and FERD. You guys know the drill. Behind the Avatar. No agenda, just vibes. We're going to be chatting about, I'm sure, the SANDBOX and who knows what else will come up on this episode. But Fred and FERD has been building inside of the SANDBOX for seems like as long as I've been building inside of the SANDBOX. I feel like we probably started right around the same time. Maybe I don't really know. We can get into that. I'm pretty sure we've already kind of discovered that though. But either way, we've already done one episode together. You can go catch that replay over on YouTube if you are curious to dive deeper into what we talked about that time. I'm sure we'll talk about some of it again today. But Fred, why don't you do me the honors of introducing yourself and letting people know who you are and maybe where they can find you on social medias and stuff, just to start off in case people don't know who you are, and then we'll dive on into it.
Yeah, thanks, Crafter, for having me. I would be interested in hearing what we talked about the first episode too.
Right.
At Fred and FERD on mostly anything. It's kind of an unusual name, so kind of pops up. But yeah, that's about it.
Hell yeah. You probably don't have too many problems getting your name on any platform. It is pretty
Yeah,
unique.
That's true. And the long one is Frederick and Ferdinand.
Right. So
Yeah.
that one for sure is available if you got enough room for it. I was thinking about this. I know we talked about this on the first one, and I was trying to wrap my brain and I just could not remember. Do you want to give us the quick story of where this name came from? I feel like it had to do something with maybe like a role play game or something you were doing. I don't remember. I could be making it all up.
No, yeah, exactly. When like everybody started working at home and stuff in the pandemic, it was like just was something we were gonna do, and it was gonna be Frederick and Ferdinand, and so that's just kind of how it started. We were gonna play a new MMO coming out. It was New World. And we were going to pretend to be Frederick and Ferdinand.
Gotcha.
It didn't last very long, but
no,
the name stuck.
I was say the name
was just Fred and Ferd. Yeah,
I like it though.
I haven't really played into it yet, but
did you play that game
for a little while? Yeah.
Was it fun? I don't recall.
It's pretty fun. It's like a new MMO.
Newer one. How long ago?
Amazon has. Well, it launched at like 2022, so a couple years.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I guess I've never checked that one out, but let's see.
Yeah. But then I started doing SANDBOX game jams, and the rest is history.
Yeah, you've been doing. I've never done a game jam. How many game jams have you done?
Well, I'm a professional at losing game jams, Crafter. I don't know how many I've done. At least over 10 for sure.
That's quite a few.
I have second place and 2 honorable mentions under my belt.
I was gonna say, what is your accolades? Okay, so second place and 2 honorable mentions.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty solid. I don't know what
a few participation awards, you know.
Yeah. Participation awards. I used to get a lot of those growing up when I was playing basketball. Mm-hmm. Your team played. Good try. By the way, shout out to the chat who may or may not be able to hear us because it looks like there is an ad going on. So I'll say this again, but in a little bit. But if you do subscribe, you don't have to watch ads and you can be with us for the entire length of the show. But I'm just going to wait until the ad's done and then I'll shout out people in the chat. But there is a handful of people. We got You got
It looks like
Hoddle,
we're back.
Hoddle shouting out the beards. Beard Show. Welcome to the Beard Show.
I do have a beard, and Crafter does have a beard. Yes.
Your
Beards.
your avatar on Twitter. At least that's what I call them. I don't know what those are. Or your profile picture on Twitter. Whenever I was looking at it, I was like, that could be like the logo for this specific episode, because it looks like me and you standing next to each other.
We just need some hard hats.
Yeah, exactly.
I was actually thinking if I wanted to take Twitch more seriously, I would have a hard hat when I'm building and a hard hat when I'm playing.
Yes.
I'd just switch them. So I'd either be Fred or FERD. Just have like two personalities, you know?
Dude, you should play into that. I feel like sometimes that is what takes somebody to the next level, and like they start taking off just because it's something different that people like.
I don't think I could do it.
Catches their eye.
Maybe I'd hire somebody to do it someday.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do it either. I mean, I like showing up and just being me. But so that's.
I wouldn't really be crazy about it. I would just wear the hard hat.
Yeah, you could. You're not gonna go all in like fucking, who am I thinking of? I can't think of his name. Dr. Disrespect.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be like that at all. But that would be what you would need if you wanted to be a professional Twitch artist.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely what gets the people going. That's funny though. And back to shouting out everyone. What up, everyone in the chat? Thanks for tuning in. If you do have any questions for us or just want to hang out and say stuff, obviously chat away. There is ads enabled, so like I said, I think I said this when you guys are on an ad break, so you might not have heard it, but if you do want to catch the entire episode, the replay will be up. So if you miss stuff, you can catch the replay sometime next week. Otherwise, if you don't want to miss and you want to watch live without ads, you can subscribe. Thanks. Anyways, hi guys. That's what I really wanted to say. Roxy, Hoddle, Kay, ADDICT, Arctic Mosaic, all kinds of people. Waypax.
Hello, everybody.
What up? Dude, I don't even know where to start. I guess like where I kind of want to start is with, so after, I guess we already kind of started on it. You were doing game jams. Is that what like hooked you in to the sandbox? Was the idea, or like what, I guess like, yeah, what hooked you into the sandbox? Was it the idea of being able to build a game, no code, or like what was it for you?
Well, the original lore of me getting into the sandbox is I was like just at home all day, and I was dabbling in like trying to make some social content. And the first shtick was like we were talking about, was just gonna role play for fun. And then it was like there's this NFT gaming culture thing happening. And so the next thing I was like, I'm gonna actually see if I can play any of these games and not put any money in and get money out.
Mm-hmm.
And there was like a lot of candidates, but the sandbox was basically the only real player at the time that was like, you could win real chunks of money just by winning a game jam. And so that's where it started. And then like it's funny because I have podcasts about like my initial thoughts of the sandbox and stuff. And I was like, I don't get it. Like this is what I said. I don't get it. It's kind of like probably a scam. Like, and it's like, there's a podcast of me saying it, and it's kind of funny, but as you get like, it scratched an itch of making games that like, I've always wanted to make games, and then like, but never really could wrap my head around coding. And I think that the sandbox was just kind of filled that void that I've always wanted to make games with. And so I really latched onto it at some point, and it kind of turned into more passion than chasing money. And that's kind of where I am. I've
Yeah,
gotten burnt out a few times on it.
for sure.
Because I do like, I don't know where the transition turned over from. Like, I mean, obviously I want to make a full living in the space,
Yeah,
but that's not why I compete in game jams anymore. It's just more of a love of the game for game jams at this point.
yeah, yeah. How did this most recent game jam go for you? I know I never got to, pretty much whenever I'm done streaming, I'm getting off the computer, and so I never end up actually watching you build any of that. But I know I rated you from the SANDBOX stream a few times, and you were always building on the game jam one that you were working on with Roxy. How did that go for you guys?
Well, I feel like we put together a pretty fun game. It's
Yeah.
called Gary's Pizza Face Play Place. It's a bit of a tongue twister.
Yeah. Can I get a copy paste of that?
Gary's Pizza Face Play Place. Yeah. I actually just today transferred my land to Impossible Dream Studios, and we put that live.
Okay, so it is live. I was gonna say, is it on the map or is it in the draft gallery?
Nope. I actually asked Roxy to get it ready, and we made the switch over to Impossible Dream Studio, my land today, and yep, it would be cool if I could get you to jump on it.
I was gonna say if it's somewhere
I
could
have the
play.
link.
Yeah, drop the link. Is it multiplayer? Yeah, you had a bunch of people in there.
Yeah,
drop the link wherever, and if you either in the chat or in our private chat. But I'm gonna drop it in the chat, so you might as well just put it there. Except I can't click on it. God damn it.
It's the inaugural launch day.
I can click on it if I go. I got it. I can go to Twitch and get it.
But yeah, so this game, everybody hop in there. Let's get the numbers jumped up, and also do it on the 12th because Game Maker Fun starts on the 12th.
I was gonna say, too bad Game Maker Fun didn't start yet.
But yeah, just hop in on the 12th again. I'm sure me and Roxy will think of things to do. We have lots of things to do.
I was gonna say, throw some events.
Yeah, I can work on hopping in there if anybody wants to hop in.
I'm gonna pull it up as well while we're chatting. Let me get.
So this game is, I think it went great. Like, it came about because of the build battle that you invited me to for Outer, where I was trying to make a teamwork obby, a teamwork obstacle course.
Yep.
And we hopped in there and started playing it, and I noticed that there was bugs, like things that I didn't want to have happening. Where if there was one person on the switch and another person got on the switch and then they got off, it would send the off message even though somebody was still standing on it, like a pressure plate, how you would expect it to work. You would expect to not to turn off until the last person gets off of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Kind of.
I'm following. So then, but it wasn't working like that, right?
Yeah, it wasn't working like that.
Yeah, I remember
so
that.
I spent some time thinking about it, and so I turned each one of the pressure switches into a variable, and just worked on getting it to work that way. And that's how we decided on the logic for this game. Just turned it into like a teamwork obstacle course.
Dope. So now you do have pressure plates in this, and they work where as long as one person is on it, it's still triggered.
Yep.
Nice. I know you. I remember one of the times I swung by. I watched a little bit of your stream, and you showed all the rules. I need to turn my music down. I hate every time you get a new version, you have to go in and redo all your settings.
That's true. You do have to do that.
It drives me nuts. I had to go adjust this again. Okay. I don't. Sometimes I'll turn on the music if I want to, but usually I like to either have my own music in the background or your voice. So usually I just have the music off. Where we're on screen. Yeah. You need 9.10.
You do need 9.10
Oh, do I have 9.9?
to be in the same instance as us.
Lame. Well, now I'm gonna have to redo my exit game. They still didn't fix how it should tell you to
No,
update, huh?
it still doesn't do that because I don't know. I guess it still works in the old versions. You just can't be with anybody in like a different version. You'll only see people in the same version as you.
That makes sense, I guess. Yeah. Where do I need to go now to get it? I need to go to create and go to.
If you jump into like the same play experience and then you hit play, it'll jump up and tell you to download it. That's where you get it. Yep, hit that and then right there.
Oh, okay. So now get out of that. Go back here.
I guess I could share my screen. If
Yeah.
you want me to, it's up to you.
Do that while I'm figuring this out. Now that I got distracted by this, what? So I don't want this open anymore. Gary's Pizza Face Play Place, though.
There's where you can copy it. Do you wanted a copy paste crafter? There it is.
Yep, that's what I needed. I'm gonna put you on stage. So here you are running around inside right now.
Yes, so you need somebody on the pepperoni pizza team and on the pineapple pizza team to make it actually through the whole obstacle course, because you need to be on the pineapple team to push the pineapple buttons, and you need to be on the pepperoni team to push the pepperoni buttons. Pretty high-tech stuff, I know.
it's
I feel so goofy talking about this game the past few weeks, like on stream. Like, first the pepperoni team needs to get on the pepperoni button, and like
this is like it's like you're an announcer for like a esports event, but the teams
yeah,
are
but super
just
goofy game.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a
So Arctic didn't make it
dodgeball.
up.
Reminds me of
And
dodge.
Roxy's gonna go down. So yeah, so this button, you have to stand on each button before you get the ladder, and then you can see the variable on the bottom's counting down.
Oh, okay.
Once the variable hits 0, the ladder disappears. So it's like a teamwork obstacle course. You gotta stay in the same colors. So pineapples are yellow. If I was to jump in the red slide, I would go back. So like separate.
Oh, it'll send you like to the front.
So watch me try to walk in the red. I'll just go like boop. No, you can't go in the red because you're on the pineapple team.
Okay, I like that.
So the pepperonis had to pull a lever there, which allowed me over here. And then if I pull the right lever over here, they can get past that part. And if they do it right, you'll see them come over these steps here. But it looks like I might have to go back and help.
I like that it's like collaborative.
Yeah, I'm not sure where they went.
Hello, anyone out there?
But yeah, it definitely helps for this game. It helps to be in chat because I do split you up, which might not have been the best idea, but
I mean, why not?
I put in these like things where you can go back to the last checkpoint and check on people, which I really don't know where they went. Oh, there they are.
They're still trying to get this done.
Oops.
My client is downloading. Almost there. How many hours do you think you worked on this?
Not as many as Woke Zombie worked on his game, that's for sure.
Yeah. Well, he's on another level.
He grinded out on that one for sure.
He's a workaholic.
But for this game, Roxy and I are planning on doing like some game passes, not to like play the game, but to help people learn how to do the things that we did. So like if you are, because I think, in my opinion, the big thing that the Game Maker Fund is going to need is people to put things on their land.
Definitely.
And so I think our approach through Impossible Dream Studios is going to be like one game at a time. If you're like interested in these mechanics that we're using, then the pass will just get you like I'm planning on putting like a schematic together. This isn't all final. We're thinking about this.
Yeah.
But like a schematic of how all of this stuff works, and then like maybe like a few months of classes or something.
I think that's a great idea. I think there needs to be more stuff like that, and I could see simple business models around it that you could monetize, which sounds like exactly what you're doing, which is important, because if the one thing that I've noticed about this space, and specifically the sandbox, is where I've had my most focus, I suppose, but even outside of it, is that there a lot of brands in the Web3 space like basically rely on content creators inside of this small ecosystem to create for them and actually show what goes on, but then they don't, because it's such a small space. Like, you really aren't going to get to the point. I mean, you could, but it's a grind to be one of the huge creators that actually could have some revenue from whatever. But there should be other ways that creators can be like monetizing things, and you just have to think out of the box and do stuff like what you're doing, and then that allows the creator to continue to stay focused and in the ecosystem that they're creating content around, and create even better content. So it's like something that like needs to happen for a creator economy to be thriving. And it just like seems like there hasn't been like a ton of opportunities around that in specifically the sandbox area of Web3. And I feel like that could easily change, especially now that like where you're thinking that the game maker is, it's to a point now where it is really user friendly, but if you don't know how to use it, it's tough to make it do what you want it to do. So if people that are novice, new builders come to find the sandbox and then they want to build something, then they can go through easily. I could see people wanting to then go through a course or something that would train them how to do something specific that they're trying to solve. So that was my
So yeah,
long-winded
no,
analysis of that.
I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
But like, I think most of the concepts that I do here are like super simple, but like that's because I've been doing game maker stuff for a really long time, and you can go out and learn all of this stuff, absolutely. But like it's not going to be all in one place.
Right.
And like I'm going to try to make a PDF of it and like explain everything that's happening in this particular game. And that's what the pass will be. And then
that's legit,
including like some assets, and then we're thinking like a premium pass where potentially I put a like a cookie cutter like logic together and transfer the logic over to you. So all you have to do is put in like your own assets and stuff.
So it's like selling like a template kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea. And I think that there could be a whole marketplace of templates at some point. Which I think would be kind of cool to see.
Yeah. So we'll see if people are interested in this particular game concept and like if they can see how they could adapt it to their game land, which I don't know how they couldn't because basically it's just it's like a teamwork obby from Roblox, which I
Uh-huh.
think is what the sandbox is kind of going for, especially with this
To-
next game
totally.
jam.
Yeah, yeah, especially with the next game jam.
And so it's like, hey, do you want to learn how to do this? Or hey, do you want to spend a little extra and just get an experience with the logic on it? And then you just build around the logic.
And I think that I'm just thinking now. Now I'm like going down like a rabbit hole in my head about.
But this isn't
how-
all permanent stuff, but like that's kind of that's where my
yeah,
head's going with Impossible Dream Studio stuff.
I think that's
Just make it
cool.
slow and like
Yeah, I think that's a
just
cool idea, and it's something to experiment with at least, and see if there is um, a need or slash want for something like that. Because I mean, I know I'm interested. I was just thinking, I was like, I'd love to be able to just take this game concept and take the take the logic in a nice little bundle and put it into something that I'm building and then modify it to be what I want it to be, but like the same style or whatever.
mhm.
I don't.
Yeah.
It kind of hurts my brain to think about how you could make that possible, but I'm sure you could. Um,
Well, it would be like kind of like how this one works, and you would have to know how like the buttons work together, and then you would just like I would have to put together another like PDF about how to change the titles of the names to like what your team names are instead of like pineapple and
mhm.
pepperoni. You want like unicorns versus horses or something. I don't know, but like
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like
yeah,
that. Um, but yeah, other than that, it would just be like how it would be you step on a button and you have to be on the right team. Like that's what this premium pass would buy. It would buy you like this game, how this one works.
yeah. Exactly.
But
I
just
think that's
in a pre-built way. So like it wouldn't have any of this stuff here. It would just have the logic.
yeah. And then it's pretty easy for you to.
And then basically the tutorial would be teaching people how to use like the replace asset stuff.
Hmm.
So like even if I did have logic in here or assets in here, that I need to make some of the logic work, I might use like a number pad. Everybody knows a
Yeah,
number pad, right?
yeah.
You might have to replace that number pad with your own asset.
That makes sense, and that's doable now, which is dope.
Yep.
Um, how long you been thinking about this?
I've been thinking about ways to make money in the sandbox for a long time.
Tell me about it. Me too.
I think a lot of I don't know. I don't know where when it came to me. Little bits over time.
Yeah, for sure. That's how my ideas kind of come to fruition too. Well, actually, to be honest, a lot of times I'll get an idea like I call them like a download, and it'll just like hit me. A lot of times at night before I'm going to bed, and I'll just like I'll just like go grab my phone, open up the notes app, and just start typing and just start typing like my thoughts out and just like thinking as I'm typing, and then I'll have like this huge brain dump, and then in the morning I'll like look through it and be like decipher if it was a good idea or not so good, or at least pull some things from it. But sometimes you just get the right pieces that start plugging in, and you're like, oh, this is actually a really fucking good idea. uh, like somebody should do this even if you don't have enough time to do it. That's a lot of times that I run into is that I have like 20 different ideas, and they all sound like pretty damn good ideas, but it's like they all would take a lot of time, most of the time, to like actually commit to like making it work. And then I end up either trying to do too many of them at the same time, and all of them kind of just go stagnant, or I just do one and focus on that one, and then that one goes good, but then I get distracted and I want to do something else. Like, I don't know, maybe that's just my ADHD though.
It's not easy to stay focused on something long enough to get it done. I think we all struggle with that. I'm a lot better at starting something than finishing it. I always will be.
Totally. I'm really good at starting things. I need a closer, somebody to do the other half for me, fall behind me and just close everything down, lock it in. Maybe that's what a personal assistant is.
Kind of. It takes all sorts of different people to make a team work properly. That's why it's hard to do everything by yourself, because it takes all sorts of types of people to make a team.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely. Like, having a team is huge. I love working in a team. I mean, luckily, like for me and my wife are a really good team. So like a lot of things that we do together, I'm thinking like even entrepreneurially, those always thrive because we both like lean into our skill sets, and they're completely different. So we can cover a wide range of things that need to happen. But then like whenever I'm just doing things that are just my thing, I'm more like the creative and like the think about how things could happen, not know exactly how to do it, but like have a good general idea, and then we plug the pieces together, and then I can research to figure out what the pieces are. But yeah, it is important to have a team, I think, especially like if you're trying to do anything crazy. um I can't imagine like doing any sort of like business stuff alone. I feel like that would be one, it would just be kind of like you would feel alone. Like there's no one to talk to. I feel like you're like, I don't know. I love teams and being around people, talking to people. So maybe that's just me.
I think I think there's all sorts of kinds of people that thrive by themselves, that have to swallow their pride at points and learn that they have to work together. And then there's people that just like working in teams. I think it all boils down to, though, that you can't do everything by yourself, and that's for damn sure.
It is for damn sure. And at least we have in this.
I mean, you can in bursts.
True.
You just certainly can in bursts, but not in the long run.
I feel like we're kind of like trained to like more so want to do it all alone though, for some reason. And I don't know where that comes from. This is getting philosophical.
It is. I think like that probably comes from like, I don't know. When I talk to people about this sort of stuff, I think I come off very harsh.
I don't think that's a bad thing.
But I think it comes from the fact that like it's not like at some point it's not anybody's fault but your own.
True.
Nobody's going to care more about what happens to you than you. And like honestly, like nobody really gives a shit about you other than like your parents and like your really close family,
Right.
So like you can't put so much stock in other people like getting the stuff accomplished that you want to accomplish, because it's not up to them. They can't do it for you. You have to be determined and motivated enough to get it done, no matter what it costs.
Yeah, I think that's really well said. I mean, at the end of the day, like you just said, no one is going to care as much about what you want to do than you. So you got to get yourself to do it. And then as you grow and maybe build a team around whatever it is that you're doing, you're still always going to be the one that cares the most about it. everyone else, it's just a job. And
Yeah,
I
if
mean,
you're the
and
head
there's
of it, like if it's your baby, for sure,
yeah,
nobody's gonna care about it more than you. They're just in it for a paycheck.
yeah, and I mean, obviously, there's varying ranges and scales of how people approach
I do really love Misty
employment
Mountain,
and
though.
yeah,
You know,
exactly. Like and I
but
mean,
we worked for a long time for like scraps as
right,
well. Like it's not that's a passion project,
definitely, and I think that's a
which,
great passion
which
project. I
is
think
also
that's
about to launch.
I know that is a good segue too. How long have you been working with? We're talking about Pickaxe Master and the Misty Mountain. How long have you been working
You
along
should
with
hop in
them?
if you get an updated game. You should hop in the tutorial over there and show it while we talk about it. I would be interested to see how you like the new tutorial in the Misty Mountain.
I would be
It's live,
interested.
but it's not it's live, but it's not the final version yet. There's a couple errors, but it's right over there by the outer block, which
All
I can
right.
get you a link to. But how long have I been for the Pickaxe Master? It's been like it feels like years. It feels like a really long time. But I don't know. I think it's like 8 months or something. 7 months, 8 months. Not very long, but it feels like an extremely long time already.
Yeah. What all have you been focused on like helping them with? Like what's your like or like I guess I don't know the full team dynamic there. Like how many people are you working with as far as game development goes and whatever else you guys are doing?
Excuse me. Well, the Misty Mountain's kind of a special case because it's so old. Like it is been worked on since like point 0.6 game
Right.
method. So like a lot of people have had their hands on it over the years. And Gibbous built the world pretty much, I think, a few times over maybe, and just
Mm-hmm.
dropped an astronomical amount of detail onto the map and spent a lot of time putting love into how the map felt and like how it looked.
Yep. I
And
remember those days.
there's another early guy, his name is Boss Killer, who put together the original RNG table in the Misty Mountain where it wasn't possible before, Cyber Dragon had put out tutorials on like how to make RNG possible through platforms. And so that's kind of like how like was the extent of my knowledge of it. And then like I knew how to do some interesting things because I spent like a lot of time studying Cyber Dragon's videos. Like I'd watch him over and over and over and over again until I understood what he was talking about or what he was trying to do. Because I thought it was interesting, and I was like, if I could do that, I could make an interesting mechanic and like make a game around it.
Yeah.
And so um the Pickaxe Master had a contest where that you participated in, you know, under what was it called? It was like
Mm,
I forget now, but it was 4 teams against each other. And
I know I'm
after that,
trying to think of what it was called. It's not coming to me.
after that, yeah, Bruno just invited me to work for the team, and it was like Boss Killer had moved on at that point. It was just like my job to go in and do the dialogue stuff, like clean up the dialogue,
Mm,
and then like fix the RNG. So like I just spent so much time in there learning what Boss Killer did,
yeah.
and still like still there's nuances to it that I never wrap my head around. Like
Really.
I'm like, dude, I don't know I don't know what's going on. Like I need to redo this a little bit because I don't know. I don't know if I can do this. Just like grinding and grinding on it. and it really paid off too. But then 0.9 came out, and like it just broke the whole game.
I do remember that happening, sadly.
Yeah, see you later. Here's the rules though.
All of that work.
Yeah, but it's okay. You got to rebuild things anyway.
It was good learning experience, right?
It was definitely a good learning experience. I mean, I could talk for days about sandbox experiences and things I've learned from participating with the sandbox, but so far it's like, yeah, we are in an alpha, and like just don't be upset if your stuff gets broken.
Right.
I hope that isn't the case so much in with the game rules, but you just never know. And so they're like, hey, yeah, your logic don't work no more. But and I'm not even sure why it didn't work very much, but the timing, most of the timing and stuff, I think a lot of like things changed in the update from 0.8 to 0.9. But anyway, they're like, here's these game rules, and you know, you're gonna have to make it work like that. And so yeah, we just reinvented the game again. It's been like the 4th or 5th time we've done it. But it's not a bad thing because we've really refined what happens on Misty Mountain over time.
Yeah.
And we've gotten a lot of feedback over time, and it's like I think the main word behind the Pickaxe Master is just pivoting. Like we're not afraid to pivot and then pivot again. And like if that's not the right thing, then just like, yeah, we're gonna need to pivot because
that's how every like startup goes, and like especially like in the web3 world, like pivoting is what it's all about, because like you got to figure out what you got to figure out like what your audience wants, and you also just have to figure out what the tools and technology can really do, and there is going to be a lot of pivoting. If you can't pivot, this isn't the place for you, because you're gonna need to pivot at least occasionally along your journey through here. No matter, and honestly, like no matter if you're a player, consumer, or if you're a founder, developer, what have you, like everything in this space, you're just gonna end up needing to pivot and just be okay with change. Just embrace change. That's what I always say. Change is okay.
It's very much still the Wild West in this space, but like I feel the sandbox is going to be a giant in the space, whatever it ends up being in a few years, whatever our space ends up being, the sandbox will definitely be a major player in it, no doubt.
It's gotta be, right? I mean, it's hitting its niche. Like it.
I mean, like I call the sandbox you might have to like jump over a weird hurdle to learn Game Maker, but like
yeah,
it really is good at, but if you do, it's like a really good stepping tool to understanding basic programming concepts. And like
100%.
The Game Maker will always be a really good prototype for like people that aren't capable of scripting or like putting something very complicated together. Like even the Roblox engine it's not a walk in the park to put a game together in Roblox, you know?
Right.
So, but in the Game Maker, it is.
I was gonna say, definitely the easiest I've ever found to try and do stuff with, as far as gamifying anything or building a game. Like, I don't know.
So that's their strength for sure. Is like the barrier to entry on making complex games.
Complex games is a key word, and that's what I think sets it apart. And once more of the complexity starts to show, and people start to catch on to like some of the cool different things that are capable of happening here, I think it'll start to shine, because it is so easy to do the complex stuff once you like figure it out. And I think things like what you were talking about with having a pass that gets you access to learn in some way to do some of those things as a game developer or not, as a new person that just wants to build a game. It's going to be one of those things that as long as, and I don't know why it wouldn't be the case, but as long as they keep innovating and expanding on what they're doing and continuing to develop and create what is asked for and what the greater community wants, there's no reason that it doesn't become one of the big players in the metaverse world, because there will not be just one. That's 100%. There'll be many that try to be just the one. There'll be few that do get a majority of users to participate in just theirs, and feels like it's exclusive to just that one for those people. But there will always be other metaverses out there that have room for people to explore.
It'll be really interesting to see what happens in the sandbox when they make the leap over to mobile. And
yes, mobile will be crazy.
If the network play gets better over time, or loading times get better over time, because like that's the main thing. Like my 6-year-old, like trying to launch up a sandbox game and watching him try to wait 3 minutes to load a game, might as well like pull all his fingernails off. But like that's the same reaction you get to watching a 6-year-old try to wait through a loading screen for 3 minutes.
Seriously, it's the one game that I really do catch myself reaching for my phone, and
you have to have something else to do while you're waiting
do something
for it.
While I'm waiting, because I just know that it's going to be a little while. And most games I'm just like, all right, game's about to start. Here we go.
But the things that I've been able to do with the Pickaxe Master Misty Mountain are pretty incredible, with inside the rules, and I can't wait for people to play it and check it out. And because there is a lot going on at the Misty Mountain as far as in the sandbox. Like they launched the clan manager, or Bruno and Boss Killer got the website working. So like there's money you can earn through the clan, through just like how much money everything makes overall if you have avatars and stuff. You can make money just like through the season for mining. That's going to be every 2 weeks starting on the 12th. And I mention all of these things because like the big part of the equation that I haven't heard a lot of people mentioning is like there has to be enough games and people playing in general for these things to make sense. Like if everybody wants all these projects to work, and I'm glad that we start, like this is the time, it's the 12th, like the competition, it's starting, it's awesome. But if we want all this to work, there has to be enough traffic for everybody to go around.
Mm-hmm.
And like we need to, it's going to be very interesting. I hope that that it continues to get better, the product continues to get better, and that I'm trying to combat that with Impossible Dream Studios, and that we get people actually using their land with things that are fun, that are gamish, that people will hop into for 4 or 5 minutes and hang around.
I was gonna say
once the loading time is over,
yeah,
hopefully there's something on the other side that was worth waiting for.
Yeah, hopefully is right. For one, I can't tell you how many times I've waited to load into something and then been like, after two minutes, been like, this isn't anything worth my time. But
and I'm not taking shots at anybody.
No, I mean,
I'm just trying to help people that like don't know what to do with their land, or like they're thinking of renting their land out to people. Like it's not that hard to make a game and like just put something on your land.
100%. And I think having things for people to be able to easily do that is important, because that's what I kind of see where the sandbox would thrive
The
is
strength
whenever
of it.
they get to a point where you literally are going from plot to plot to plot, just playing these random different games that take, I don't know, 15 minutes probably tops to like play through and
Well,
compete
it's like
in
in
some sense.
Roblox, right? In Roblox, the average playtime of a game is like 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And they have like 39 million users, active users or something. So they got a pretty good average on how long somebody's going to sit in a game that's like the sandbox.
Right.
It's about 6 minutes.
That's all you need. That's kind of,
So,
I haven't fiddled or enough with the pickaxe master, but that's kind of the direction you guys are going in. It's like shorter, quick plays, right?
yeah, the Pickaxe Master has really made an amazing transition here. Um, with the game rules, it's allowed it to have some pretty fun, easy mechanics, and it's like really easy to teach the game to the players now. And it just feels like you feel more powerful now that like something that cool is really happening, and like you don't have to wait on the mining. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
can't break the game anymore. It just works because the rules are on the server and we're trusting the rules. So
Oh, speaking of rules on the server, I did find out the answer. Somebody from Pickaxe Master, probably Bruno, asked on a question and asked a question on one of the shows, and Cyberdragon answered it for me. But you kind of just answered it yourself, that are on the server. They're not on the client.
yeah, I can tell you that because
Because
you log into the Misty Mountain to try to work on it, and you can open the rules one time, and it takes forever to open them. And then if you try to open the rules again, good luck. No, you just got to quit the game maker and open game maker again.
oh, really?
Because yeah, I think that's the main rule. They say don't over the main reason they say don't overload the rules because they are on the server, and like if you have so many rules, like as soon as you get too many rules, you can open the rules one time, then you got to restart your game maker.
Like once it gets to a
Once you get
certain
too many
point?
rules,
Okay,
yeah, it's super annoying.
so it does bog it down.
It does. It's probably the network trying to talk, or I don't know what it is. I'm not very technical, but
Yeah,
you
yeah,
have to think it's like some sort of communications with the servers because that's where the rules are.
yeah. That does make sense. But I guess if you're watching, Bruno, that was what Cyberdragon confirmed.
That's where the
He
presets are. Like, makes sense. So
and he just asked somebody, and somebody gave him that answer. So don't quote him either if for some reason it isn't that. But the person that answered his question said that they were going to look into it to make sure. But I would go with that from all the sounds of what you've experienced and that answer from him. So
it makes sense.
yeah. What I want to jump into Pickaxe Master. Well, I'm
You
in.
should definitely jump in quick.
Yeah, while we're talking about it, let's do that. So I'm just gonna open another one.
Thoughts on Catalyst so far? Um, I think that Catalyst, it's just like unfortunate how they launched, and it's just like
I think they're tarnished.
it's just like how everything is. It's like why don't you just communicate better and stuff? But I think that Catalyst will continue to get less expensive, and there'll be more in abundance in the long term if you just are patient and wait. But I don't know what to think. You need to have enough out there for people to thrive and have enough, but they're trying to create scarcity for some reason. I don't know why they don't just sell them.
That's what that was my thought. Is
Like,
why isn't it just something that you could
if you want
purchase?
them to be $1,
Like
then just sell them for $1.
yeah, set the price and no one will be able to go. No one can really, I mean, I guess you could.
I'm sure you can make an interface like with the website even. Like they do some crazy shiz.
For sure.
Like I want to mint 100 common catalysts. Okay, $100. Like if you want the price to be $1, then just mint them. I don't get it.
Yeah. And really it could be at the point of putting it on the marketplace. You just are, I want this to be 100 uncommon. You pay this to mint it.
Well, that is in the pipeline, lazy minting.
But that's lazy minting is so that people can supply the catalysts that they for what they want to purchase. At least that's how I understood it.
I think so.
Yeah. So I don't know what the hell I was saying before that, but but lazy minting is coming. I was just saying that.
Oh, like you can buy it.
Yeah, like you could like just show up to the marketplace to mint and say you want to mint 100. Just buy, basically in that whole transaction you would be buying 100 uncommon catalysts from the SANDBOX stock or wherever they keep it, and then it would obviously be going right back to them because you're using them. I feel like that's how it should work.
It's like how banks work.
What happens that as I'm talking that out? So whenever you use a catalyst, does it go back to them or is it burnt?
No, it gets burnt.
So what's the supply on catalyst then? There's no supply limit?
They can mint as many as they want.
Yeah, so why don't you fucking sell them then?
I don't get it.
This is where I'm getting what like my logic is going. Okay, I did not realize that. I guess I have not looked
They just
super
mint
deep
some
into.
more. They're like the Federal Reserve.
Okay, that's stupid. What? I'm trying to wrap my head around why now this makes
I don't know,
even
but
less,
like, yeah, at that point,
less
why would
sense
you
to
buy
me.
a catalyst? Because you just there's no fundamentals at all. Like,
It's like they wanted to give, they want the supply to be limited so that the people that they gifted
but just
catalysts,
limited as much as like they don't want to mint. It's like,
yeah,
there's no fundamentals, right? Like with sand, we know what they're going to release over time. With catalysts, like there's no reason to invest in catalysts.
zero
Reason to invest in catalysts. It's only if you want to use them. Like if you think you can flip a catalyst, that's the only reason you should be buying a catalyst, not to invest in.
Definitely. Interesting. I hope they like get to the point where they're like, okay, catalyst you can just buy from us.
The only thing that's going to happen with catalyst is the price is going to go way down.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing that's going to happen with catalyst.
Price go down is the only option at this point.
Either because the market gets flooded with catalysts, or nobody plays the SANDBOX ever.
Yeah, I think I thought I hit play. I guess what I don't understand about the catalyst is like now that even like this piece came into play, like what is the reason, like what was the reasoning that they decided that doing it the way that they did? And
dude, we don't know why.
Like what?
We don't know why. Shakespeare made an uproar about it. Like I try not to pay attention, right?
Yeah.
Then Shakespeare made a big uproar about it. So I tweeted at Seb. Because Shakespeare's like, rallying the troops. So I tweet at Seb. I'm like, hey Seb, like can we know what's going on? Because like, look, the troops are a little riled, bro.
Yeah.
And so he's like, yeah, sure. Okay, we'll put something out. I'm like, thanks. Like, why did it take
Why
a
did
tweet?
it take that?
Like, yeah, and then the Medium article came out. Like,
Yeah.
that should have been out a week before.
Yeah, why don't you prep people on how it's gonna go down? Get a feel for how they react to it, and then decide if it makes sense to pull the trigger on it. Because if you pull the trigger, that's a what's the saying? Aim, shoot, something, shoot, aim. Ready,
Measure
ready,
twice,
shoot,
cut
aim.
once.
I don't know. yeah, whatever fucking and quote you want to use, but yeah, they just like sent it like just we're going with it, and then just started to play defense and figure out what fire they needed to put out.
I appreciate the tools that we get, you know, and like there's been more catalysts over time, and they do listen, and I appreciate them.
I
But
do
yes, they
appreciate
don't
that they
think about
listen.
they don't think about it very much before it happens. They're very
That's what
reactionary. It's
that's
like
what like
somebody's making the decisions, and then Seb's like, "Yeah, that probably wasn't the best decision." It's just like he wasn't
seriously.
looped in.
Like could we get like an advisor board or something that maybe has some people from the actual
Well,
user base on it
they're a
and
private company, so they can do whatever they want.
yeah, so let's do something like that. Hire some consultants
But
and
like with the new Game Maker Fund, I really like the approach now because it's like it's now more of just a broad popularity contest than like winners getting chosen. It's a very good day for user generated content. I just hope
it
that
is
the sandbox has a good enough product that people want to play. Like that's the only worry that I have. So I work really really hard to try to make games that are that good, that people will play. That's like my goal in the sandbox.
I
And
think
believe me, I'm not taking shots. There's a lot of good games in the sandbox. And they are becoming more over time. There are becoming more and more good games, especially with the rules.
with the rules,
I agree with Blue Tulip, by the way.
what Blue Tulip say?
That it's just kind
Catalyst.
of put a bad taste in people's mouth, and it hasn't helped new people, and it's kind of made old people not happy.
Yeah, I think that's really it stirred the pot and angered people that I mean, you should have already been considering their thoughts. So like it almost like showed that the people that have been here for a long time didn't seem to have any effect on the decision and or even like were considered into it. Like what they I think most people reacted the way they did because they they portrayed it as they were delivering rewards to everybody for being patient and being landowners and
Being
and when
landowners.
and when people received it it wasn't what they were hoping for and
And they totally changed like gems, and then like everybody had the idea that one catalyst would be 100 things, and then they're like, nope, just one. And then you're like, oh, but we can mint things later, the same thing later if we get more, right? And they're like, no, you got to have enough catalysts like to mint that at that time. Like you can't go back and mint more things. And everybody's just like, oh, but we get a lot of them, right? And they're like, no, you just get like a few. And they're like, oh, but we get a roadmap, right? And they're like, no. So that's what it was like.
that was a very very good recap of everyone's feelings. If memes were audio, that was an audio meme. Maybe somebody could make a a visual to go along with that audio, and
Yeah.
because that was spot on. And yeah, I don't know. Catalyst, to be honest, I haven't thought a lot about him after the first couple of weeks, whenever like everyone was talking about it and I was thinking about it. But I just was like, well, I guess at this point it is what it is, and we'll just move forward and move on and react as we go to whatever they decide to do with them. Strange to me. It's still strange. It sticks out as confusing, more confusing now that I know that the supply is unlimited. Like the approach with having an unlimited supply is like, what the fuck? I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, I might be wrong. I'm not an expert on the subject, but yeah, like it's pretty much they just mint whatever they
Yeah.
feel like. Like they could have a game jam next year where they're like, the winner gets 500 legendary catalysts. Like, what's to stop them from doing that? There's
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
There's nothing.
I don't know if like if the strategy was like playing into how people like to make money for being like a landowner or something. So they were hoping that the landowners would be happy because they got something airdropped to them that then they could make money off of.
Yeah. I hope people don't think I'm just shit talking SANDBOX because I hate them, because I don't. I do love them, but they do make a lot of bad decisions. Like this too, where it's like, I don't know if I'm sure Geekus has teamed up with the SANDBOX, and I love Geekus. But they're like, hey, here's 100 sand for a fully playable experience. What? 100 sand. If you give me like 5, then it's like if you do 3 experiences or 8 experiences, then we'll give you like 300 or 500 sand. Like for a fully playable experience. What kind of drugs are you on? Because I want some. Like, who in their right mind is going to make a fully playable experience for 100 sand?
Seriously.
Like, and I'm not trying to put off people that are like excited about this or making some money off of this, because potentially it's a good idea and you get into the game maker fund. Maybe I don't see why this is a good idea, but I feel like it's just like, here's some like crumbs, like, oh, thank you, sir, may I have another type stuff. Like, seriously, I don't understand that project.
I don't either. It's such, and I guess like I think everyone does understand that, but we can restate it that I feel we both have high hopes for the SANDBOX, and we believe in the SANDBOX, and we think that they have a good product and
If you
will
want
deliver.
somebody make an experience with like a good loop, give them some fucking sand.
Yeah.
Don't offer them 100 sand.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
but at the same time,
the
if it's
creators
like,
need to
hey,
feel
you
valued, or they're not going to create. That's the issue.
But if this 100 sand, like, hey, we're going to give you access to this land, and you also get into the game maker fund, I take everything back I said. If they give you access to a land for free and they give you all you make on your game maker fund and 100 sand, and they give you more sand as you get games into the game maker fund, I take everything I said back. So I hope it's like that. I haven't looked into it too much, but if they're just offering people 100, 200 sand for an experience and like, here's the keys to the house, like, do not do that. Your game is worth way more than 100 or 200 sand.
Absolutely. And yeah, I guess I have no idea either what it actually is. But if it is that you don't have any say over it anymore, definitely don't do it.
Yeah,
That-
getting into weird tangents.
yeah, no, that's fine. But and the thing that I'm trying to do in my head is like, okay, like we're definitely going down the rabbit hole of all kinds of different things that have been stirred up over the last couple of years, but like there has been this will do it. This will get us back on track a little bit. There has been a lot of good that has come from inside of the sandbox too, which I think keeps me excited about being here and building here. Is that there are a lot of really cool games and smaller communities being built right now that I do think are going to be kind of the staples, the ones that everyone that comes to the sandbox knows that they go and check out the Misty Mountain, and everyone knows that new players that come, they're gonna go explore the fungi kingdom, and everyone that comes knows that they want to be part of the I'm sorry, Tempest Studios, I'm blanking on it, but they want to compete in the
Monochrome.
well, no, not the monochrome, but obviously they do have monochrome too. The
All the
Titan Rain like
Titan.
competitions that they're doing. So like
Titan Rain.
there's so many like cool things that are being built too, that I'm super excited to like see come to fruition and see more and more players start using it and like realizing how cool it is, because right now like it just feels like it's exposure at this point. Like just there just isn't enough people that know about it, because people in the problem is that people in the Web3 space don't even know about the Pickaxe Master or any of those other gaming ecosystems that I listed off, or any of the many other ones that are out there in the Web3 world. So like, and there's not that many gamers in the Web3 world as a whole. So like it's such a small pool that is being pulled from right now, and it needs to there needs to be more content put out that reaches people outside of Web3 and shows them that there's actually just fun games that you're missing out on that you should go check out. And the onboarding into that should be super easy, super simple. Mobile is going to play a huge part in that. I guarantee, as long as it is done effectively. The onboarding into everything, they shouldn't have to create a wallet. They shouldn't have to worry about anything like that. The wallet can be created for them in the back end, so they don't even know it until they decide that they want to claim all of the rewards or whatever that are in that wallet. Then they could set it up and pull it out. But like those kind of things need to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see things going really well.
Yeah, no, you're preaching into the choir for sure.
Yeah, it's just like figuring out how to make that.
When it switches over to mobile, it'll be a big let's see moment. That's for sure. And then like the sandbox has this weird thing around where like you have to be 18 to be on it, which is also kind of like, I don't know what is going to turn out with that and if it'll stay that way forever. And then yeah, you're right. Like it needs to not, you can't have to like have your MetaMask wallet and be like all that stuff. It has to just be seamless for sure.
And that's all doable, which is the thing that like, as long as they get the right people in the right place to make these things happen, there's no reason that it couldn't all be done the way that it needs to be done to be successful. So I guess I'm
yeah, if the past is any sort of indicator for the sandbox, they'll get there because their product gets better very quickly. And
I think people forget,
it hasn't been around that long. Like people
forget
really
or
like
don't realize.
People really like to crap on Web3, and I get it. Like general sentiment around Web3 is garbage.
Yeah.
Like Just don't kid yourself. It really is.
Totally.
And like at some point,
Rightfully so too.
yeah, there's so many bad players in the space, even in
Yeah.
the sandbox.
1000%.
In sandbox. And like there will be a point where like that doesn't matter again because there's cycles. And like there's this greater population that doesn't give a crap if it's an NFT game or not. They just play it because it's fun and it's easy and it's on their phone and it's having its moment in the spotlight. And that's when we'll have a moment to scale, and that's when we'll see. And that's why I'm here. I'm just here waiting for that moment. Because
Me
it's
too.
on the horizon somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. It's coming. I mean, it always has been coming. It's just like sometimes I think it's because I think probably the biggest reason that there's so much impatience in Web3 is because for a lot of people that are here, including myself, this is the first time we've experienced being at the forefront and like on like boots on the ground of a
Like the leading edge of it.
yeah of something being developed. And so like we're so used to just buying something and it being ready to be used, so like we don't really have any understanding of how long it takes for things to get to the point that they are actually like available to the common everyday person. So like it's a unique place that we're at, and you have to like embrace that and know that things can break and know that things may go wrong and but also know that things will get better too.
Hopefully. You don't know that for sure, but yeah, that's what we're working for.
Yeah. I mean, you don't know that for sure. As far as, I mean, I guess you don't know that for sure as far as anything, but as far as like who is going to be successful or what is going to be do well, but
The big
it's
thing in the
almost like,
sandbox, we just need to have enough people playing the game.
yeah,
And that the day in the sunlight is coming. Like
you
Game
know what?
Maker Fun starts in 2 days. So like
Yeah,
we're gonna see some shit.
I'm interested to see how many games are on the map as for the 12th. And oh damn it, I forgot my other thought. But the Game Maker Fund, do you want to what how does the Game Maker Fund in your eyes work?
Well, like everything I talk about, I'm kind of a dumb person, so you should always do your own research for sure. Because
Always do your
I
own
have spread
research.
misinformation before. But
Same.
the Game Maker Fund I think is really cool. I'm really excited about it. Because it puts the money making opportunities in the hands of the people driving the traffic. So, there's a product and then there's users, and that should be all it that decides who gets paid. It shouldn't be somebody who picks winners and losers. And
Hmm.
so we're getting away from that and we're going towards people who have games that people want to play, period. And that's the way it always should have been.
Yeah, I agree. I think it would have been great to see this earlier. Um,
I agree. It should have been the way it always should have been.
yeah.
I still feel like KYC accounts, like if play into your strengths. If you're the sandbox, like you have KYC accounts, use them. Like
Hmm.
for game jams, like use your KYC accounts as people that vote on the game jam. I mean, like
Yeah.
to me, it feels like a no brainer. But then, like
Yeah.
one time I brought it up, and people are like, "Well, people can buy KYC accounts and just push their account and stuff." So,
There's
so
always
we're
going to
just
be a
gonna let the
negative to
council
anything,
decide
but
the winners, I guess.
yeah, exactly. I don't know. I just I think that like got me starting to think about I think there is huge need for a lot of decisions, at least a lot of input to being relayed to the actual people in charge of the sandbox. And a great format for that would be some sort of DAO situation. Um, and I think that that's a need that needs to happen, even if the DAO organization, um, we can really just call it an organization, even if that organization doesn't truly affect any of the decisions with the sandbox. At least if there was some place central that was decentralized from the sandbox and allowed for feedback on what was happening and potentially what people would want if something were to happen, like for example the catalyst situation. Like they need something like that set up, and I'm surprised they haven't done that yet.
Yeah, I mean that's the pipe dream that this type of technology always offered, right? But that's not the reality of how corporations work.
Yeah.
Why would you, if you were a corporation with a money-making vehicle, would you allow a decentralized group of people to make your money-making decisions?
No, not at
Of
all.
course not.
Yeah. That's
So
why
it's never
that's
going to be
why I
like
think
that.
that's why I think I so I have thought a
And
lot
I
about
don't want it
this.
to be like that either.
Yeah.
I would rather the people on top making money be the ones that make the decisions.
The
Because if
money
you put
making
in
decisions, yes.
because if you put it in the hands of the greater audience, they're just going to keep taking from it until there's nothing left.
That's why I think that it would be beneficial if it was something that was separate from actually running the sandbox, but was like basically the sandbox, or at least like affiliated with the sandbox, and like spoke to the higher ups on a regular basis, like somebody from that organization, so that they could at least like relay and communicate effectively between the greater like community and the um the organization.
You see how well it works in the United States, right? So
Yeah.
like it always gets perverted and it always will.
Yeah. This is true.
So it's just like you have to have a group of people that make the decisions that are just been there the longest and they just go with their gut. And that's just how it is. And like if sand is like stable by itself in 20 years and like you're trying to pull off some Bitcoin, like change the world shit, where it's like, I have this vision of like changing the world.
Yeah.
Maybe the sandbox does that someday, but not anytime in the future
Yeah.
or in like the near future.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe in 2070. No, more than that. 2090.
Well, time flies a lot faster in metaverse time, so maybe like 2030.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows? We'll see. Speaking of just metaverse and metaverse time and metaverse in general, I'm super stoked for like just like the progress that technology and Web3 in general, but not really like Web3 to me is just like another tool on top of the web in general. Like, so it's like you're still like talking about regular concepts outside of Web3 whenever you talk about Web3. But I'm excited for metaverse, more like Ready Player One style metaverse experiences to be popping up. I know we're still a handful of years probably away from anything that resembles that
Well, go watch
being like
Twitch.
mainstream, but
Go flip around Twitch and try to watch some of the IRL streamers with their Apple goggles on.
yeah.
We're there, bro. We're pretty
No,
much there.
I mean,
We
yeah.
are there. It's only a matter of time. Like
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like the to see where things are at right now. Like, do I want to have my Vision Pro on and be out in public wearing it? No, not right now. Would I want to be able to put on glasses that do some AR stuff for me? Hell yeah, I would want that. But I also like, but like there's so that, but like we're getting there, and I can't wait until we get what I want. What I am excited for, and what I'm like kind of waiting for, is I'm waiting for it to get to a point where it's pretty. I mean, even if it's not super common, at least like there's a decent chunk of user base that goes to a metaverse world and plays games and stuff, and you have like a little pad on the ground that you can run on, like fucking Disney showed not too long ago, and you have your headset on, and you can just, so you're actually like moving around and doing the shit like that's that's what I'm excited for. That's always been like
Yeah.
something that caught my eye from a young kid, and I was like, "Oh, I can't wait to be able to do that when I grow
I
up."
think the problem with VR is like it just never catches on. Like it's been a trend that's really tried to catch on over and over and over and over and over again.
It's not
And
gonna
like
catch on.
people
It's not
put
gonna catch on
something,
until it's better than real life.
I think people like just can't get, it's just so disorienting to most people that they just take it off immediately and they go, nope, nope, no, not for me. Because
Yeah.
I've tried to get some people to put like VR headsets on and they're just like, no, get
Nah.
that away from me. Like they put it on for 1 second and they're just like, feel like they're going to throw up.
Yeah, it does have a long ways to go with that. I think the like having the camera so you can like see good with them on, even though you're not really seeing, you're watching through a camera. I think that'll help.
Well, that's the Apple thing, right? It's
Yeah.
like augmented reality. You can just
That's
look
what
through it.
that's what's wild to me is that so I thought when I first saw them, I thought that it was literally going to be like just really obnoxiously large glasses that were AR enabled. But then come to realize that it's actually you're looking at a screen inside of there, and it just portrays the real life like correctly. So like it's not. I don't. I actually hate that idea. Like I don't want to walk around and stare at a screen while I'm outside. I want to walk around and stare outside while I'm outside. Like
It will get to that point, but like
yeah,
you have to admit like the possibilities though are quite crazy. Like especially
absolutely.
especially for like you have to think like we get technology that's probably like 10 years old, right? Because the military's probably been using something like this for like probably at least 10 years. I think that's the joke or whatever.
Yeah,
So yeah, the amount of information, the amount of like helpful things you can just put on your display in front of your eyeballs is kind of insane.
it is insane. It really is, and it's crazy how good. I haven't used it, and I've seen mixed reviews. Um, Seems like overall more people are fanning about it than flaming about it, but um, either way, um, like the stuff that I have seen, like I think it was Orangey. Do you know Orangey? Um,
No.
he's a Web3 game influencer. Used to be a Fortnite pro. Uh, did really good at Dookie Dash. That's how I found him. As he was playing Dookie Dash professionally, and then I just started following him. But he has Vision Pro, and he was showing that he had like 7 or 8 different screens up on his like visual, and you could see whatever he was looking at in real life like behind it all. So like it's just like yeah, that's going to be wild when you like. And I don't like notifications on my phone. I have my phone on do not disturb. Like I I just hate notifications. I don't like things bothering me. I like to check things whenever I want to check them. um so it's gonna be that's what like I think about whenever I'm like picturing the future with AR is like, is it gonna be too much but I would imagine there will be some way to have settings on what you do and don't see, but I I want to be able to customize what I do and don't see fully. I hope that there's no like
I'm sure, yeah. I'm
you
sure there'll
have
be
to
all
see
sorts
some
of
things.
kinds of options.
Yeah, because it could get way overwhelming, and it could also just be such an
Well,
easy way.
I don't
You
know.
probably have to like pay for a they're probably gonna subscription model it like Hulu or Netflix. And if you don't want to have little ads pop up throughout your day as you're walking around, you have to subscribe for 10.99 a month or something.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, that's the trend nowadays, anyways. Fucking Amazon's asking for 2.99 to not have ads now for the Prime stuff that they have. Pissed me off. I was like, God damn, I already pay for
Yeah, that
Prime.
isn't very fair.
Yeah,
People always change stuff.
can't take this back, but apparently they can. Um, yeah. Life. The little things. Do you do a lot of Netflixing or anything like that?
No.
No,
I
you know,
don't do anything other than work. I don't really watch anything anymore.
my my wife likes to watch shows, and I enjoy a handful of the shows that we watch together. But um, if I were not, there's a lot of other things that I enjoy doing outside of show. I mean, same with her, but but we 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 have we were just talking about this the other day, how the amount of subscriptions that we have for different things, because there's one show here and one show there and one show there that we want to watch, like, is it's crazy how it has basically gotten back to the same point. Because I remember like back in the day, whenever like Netflix and Hulu and stuff started to be a thing, it was the idea was you were getting these subscriptions and it was way cheaper than paying for TV. So then you just like cancel your TV and just use these subscriptions. And now it's like opposite, where now these subscriptions are more than it is to have TV. Crazy.
It is getting insane. Yeah. Add up all your subscriptions and you'll cry.
Yeah, I have not actually added them all up together. I should do that one day
You'll
and cry. What is Waypax said, Black Mirror is much closer when they portrayed how they expect VR should look like. I don't recall the Black Mirror episode. If you know the name of the Black Mirror episode that you're referencing, or if you're referencing a few of them, drop the name of it or the episode number, season number, because I would go watch it. I've watched all the Black Mirror, but I don't know if I recall exactly that.
I think there's kind of a couple Black Mirror episodes that kind of touch on that, but like the one that I think of was it's like kind of like Star Trek, where the guy stole people's DNA.
Trying to think.
And put them in his own experience, and then he like tortured them because
Oh, yeah. Yep. I was the one that popped into my head was, do you remember the one where they all, and this is like, I don't know why this popped in my head because it's not really like VR related, but now we're just going down a Black Mirror rabbit hole. But the one where they have like a social currency, and if you do things that people don't like, they can like vote you down, and then you lose some of your currency. And if you do things
the
that
social
people
credit
like,
score. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. And I just that episode specifically is one that always pops in my head, and it's
The
like
two
that one.
AR ones that pops in my head was that one, but that was VR. And the AR one was like when the mom decides to get like a all-time sensor for her kid's brain, like a chip that makes it so if somebody around her swears, then she gets like a bleep or if like somebody around her is naked, then she would see like blurs. Or
Yeah.
if a
Yeah.
dog barked, like with teeth, like she would just see a blur or something. That one, and then I don't want to ruin it for you, but the end's pretty
I've
poetic.
I've thought of I've thought about going back and watching all of Black Mirror again because I feel like sometimes.
You should, because Black Mirror's in the sandbox now, and maybe you can score an interview with them.
Oh shit, they are in the sandbox now. I remember seeing that. That'll be interesting. They haven't put any experiences out, have they?
No, I don't
Yeah,
think so.
that would be an interesting. They could do some trippy like horror style experience. I don't
Yeah,
fucking
I'm
know.
gonna set the bar pretty high for them because I love Black Mirror.
It's a great show. They feel very accurate a lot of times whenever you watch it, which is the reason why it's great in my opinion because it makes you like makes you be
Yeah,
like
it's the new
fuck.
Twilight Zone. But
Yeah,
Twilight Zone was a little out there. Black Mirror is a little more on the nose. It's like, hey, society, this stuff could happen if we keep it up.
which I mean, maybe we need that.
People aren't listening,
I
bro.
was gonna say, does it do anything? No.
No.
You watch it, you think the same thing that everybody thinks whenever they watch it, and then 5 seconds later, you've moved on to something
You
else.
moved on with your life. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was a good episode. Yeah.
exactly. You're like, oh man, that's so revolutionary. That should everyone should watch
It's
this.
like
And
you watch the social credit score. Like, that was a really good episode. Oh, thumbs down on this fucking tweet.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm gonna go troll on somebody's post. And
Yeah.
uh, the world we live in. It's crazy. It's crazy to be. I don't know how old. Like, even approximately, how old are you? I just turned 34 the other day.
I'm 35.
Nice. Yeah, so we've like lived through the same things. It's the like I was talking about this with just my whole family the other day, and like the like just technology, just thinking technology, because that's I think the most noticeable, but really anything, but like everything that we've lived through has just like it's crazy how fast things seem to have like evolved because we've gone from like I had a friend I don't know if our house ever had it, but I had a friend who the only phone in their house was one of those spinny ones where you had to like put your finger
A
in and
rotary phone. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and dial one number at a time and let it
Mm-hmm.
spin back.
Hope you
So
don't
like,
bleed out while I dial 911.
yeah, seriously. Uh, um, and so like going from there, so like that was literally the only way to call people. We've been alive. You've always been able to call somebody. I'm pretty sure. Um,
Definitely. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know how long the phone's been around, but
Long time.
yeah, but
Long
like
time.
at least like mainstream, everyone has a phone in their house. So
Oh,
like that's always been the case for us. But like going from that to now everyone has a phone in their pocket is kind of wild. And the amounts of stuff that you can do on it on that phone beyond just making a phone call is also like really wild because we didn't we didn't have that when we were began this journey and like so it's just crazy how fast things evolve and I don't know my dad my dad made it seem like he agreed that it seemed like things have been faster like our generation than his generation but I don't know if that plays true for everyone's generation or if there's
oh,
just like
definitely
ebbs
not.
and flows with like when things
Definitely
start to
ebbs and
ramp up.
flows.
Yeah.
Um, like if you look back through history, right? Like the world will stay the same for like hundreds and hundreds of years, and then like there's just really quick bursts of change. And like, yeah, you're right. Like as computers have gotten smaller and chips and processors get smaller and can be like the size of needle pricks, technology gets better and better and smaller, and it is wild because you're just like, the world is one step away from like trying to plug your brains into phones. And that's where I'm like, bro, no.
Yeah.
Never put anything like a chip in my brain. Never try to upload my consciousness to anything. Like, if you feel alone and depressed in the world as a human fucking being, when your thoughts are your own, and like people can throw you in jail and like kick you and stuff, but like you're still you. Like, can you imagine being meshed up in a computer? Oh my god.
No.
That's like the most lonely feeling I think I
Seriously.
can ever think of. Just being lost in time in a computer. Oh my god.
I just, yeah.
Even if you think it's real and stuff, I don't
I was gonna
know.
say,
It
like, even
creeps
if it
me out.
is, yeah, like that's the thing that like people will always hit you with is then, well, what if it doesn't feel like you're in the computer? What what if
I
it
don't
what if,
care. I
what if
don't want it.
that's what we're going through right now?
What if we're in a simulation at the moment?
Yeah,
Even if that's real though, it's like this is still your shot at being crafter. So
exactly.
even if you're in the simulation, I still don't want to be in a simulation. In the simulation, God no, please no. Because then I'm the simulations experiment.
Yeah.
I don't want to be the simulations experiment. I'm
Seriously.
already an experiment.
Yeah. That's funny to think about.
Uh,
Simulations experiment. Yeah. I don't know.
I mean, God, the tangents we go on with Crafter.
Hey, it's what I do.
There
Welcome to
is
my
some
brain.
crazy evidence in the world that we are in like a computer like simulation.
I
It's
mean,
wild.
I've seen some solid stuff out there. I do my share of TikTok scrolling every once in a while, and
I can never remember what it's called, but yeah, basically the idea is things will change over time if they're observed. Like, they'll look one way unless you observe them, and then they will look a different way, and they
the
will change the way they look through space and time
yeah,
if you observe them. It's just like how a computer program works, right? You only render in the stuff that's needed to make the program work. So yeah, there's some real trippy shit in this universe of ours. If you
for
want to
sure.
look deep enough into it.
That's the thing is like, do you want to look that deep into it? And like, you almost have to like, you have to spend a lot of time to
Just
start
thinking.
wrapping your head around
YouTube makes it
concepts like that.
easy, but you also learn a bunch of wrong shit.
I was gonna, yeah. I mean, but I don't know. It's one of those like questions or whatever thoughts that I circle back to fairly often. Like just like for whatever reason, I'll get onto the thought of either like something along the lines of like either like, is this a
Like, what are we
simulation?
doing here?
Is this actually like the third or fourth time that we've had to replant humans onto the earth, and we just have this made up history, but we've already had like multiple nuclear wars on earth, and we just keep going to space and then coming back. That's one that always hooks me in. I think that one's super wild, and possible. um but like,
I don't know. It's really hard because there's so much information, right? And like
yeah,
I have to admit, like, I grew up a Catholic, so like I can't help that I do have faith inside of me, and it's like, I think that humans are just fucked because we wanted to know too much. Like, we wanted to know too much for our own good, pretty much. And like, that's just what happens
that is what happens.
because
And
it's yin and yang. It's like light and darkness. It's good and bad. You can't have one without the other because you can't know what you want until you know what you don't want.
100%.
And it's like, That's the thing that's wrong in our society most of the time, is that people try to just make other people stop talking because they don't agree with them. And like, no, you can't act like that. You actually have to let them be able to talk and talk about their feelings, and then tell them why they're wrong, and tell them why everybody doesn't agree with them, and then have communication with them. But if you don't listen in the first place and you just yell at them and say, like, I'm not even going to listen to you because the standing that you're on is like wrong, and you have to listen in the first place, basically, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and
So,
I mean, yeah, go ahead.
but yeah, that's really awesome. Yeah, you have to have, there's has to be good and bad. It's not just all good.
It's a pendulum in my eyes. It like you have to. I heard somebody talk about how life is a pendulum, and you have to like if the scale from left side of the pendulum to right is 1 to 10, like you have to swing all the way to 1 if you want to get all the way to 10. And sometimes life you're just swinging right in the middle between 7 and 5. I don't, yeah. So like just bounce it back and forth between that, so nothing gets too bad, nothing gets too good. And then but then if you swing one way or the other, like eventually it's gonna bring you.
Well, that's just you trying to listen to your emotions, though, right? I'm
True.
talking like in the world, there's just evil, and like there has to be people that know the extent of what that evil is so that they can fight against it. And for some reason, that evil's on our planet. And like if it's not evident that our planet is evil, then you're not paying attention at all.
Yeah, I feel that. And it's like it's unfortunate to say it lightly that we do have to have evil here, because like think about what, I don't know, maybe would life not be good if there was not evil? Because I feel like
There wouldn't be
at
life.
first thought
There wouldn't be
anyway.
life as we know it,
Yeah, yeah.
because
I
we
don't know.
have free will and people just make decisions, like really poor decisions. I think like basically when I have these types of conversations with people, I always just say like peoples are products of their environment until that they realize that they are a product of their environment. And it's really hard to realize you're a product of your environment, and it's even harder to change that product that you are.
Yeah, because you've been going through life in that environment for so long, like it's ingrained in you, right?
Yeah, it's just who you are.
Yeah, it's always it's,
That's why we die, because ways of thinking have to move on. We're not the type of people to pivot. We don't like to pivot. We like to be stuck in our ways.
we are
Creatures
very,
of habit.
yeah, very much habit driven creatures. It's it's tough to it's really tough to break habits. I've noticed, like, even it's crazy, like there's some things that have been ingrained in you from like a long time. So even if you do like break that habit and get out of it and form a new one, if you slip back into that old habit, you
Yeah,
could
those brain paths are there,
it's
man.
like tough.
They're
It's like,
ready.
yeah, it's crazy how easy you can get back into that even if you had ditched it. They're just,
Yeah,
yeah, waiting to
because
fire again.
that habit path is sitting there waiting.
Um, shit. It's already been 2 hours,
Yeah,
which is about all I had today. Um,
Existential thoughts with Crafter.
I was gonna say we went deep today, but I love it. That's what I love about. So I don't know if I've talked about this on air yet or not, but the reason that I'm doing like 3 different shows now, and because like I have like 3 different things that I like to do. I like to just chill, hang out, and vibe, and talk to people that I think have unique perspectives. So that's what Behind the Avatar is. And then I also like gaming and discovering new games and finding ones that I think are going to be fun for people. And so like that's what I'm using Metaverse Spotlight for. And then I also just like to hang out on stream with people and and play games and just bullshit. So like I've started doing that more as well. So like the it's just it's been a blast being able to do this last few years, and I'm happy to be back doing it again. Um, Took a little bit of a break after chaos ensued in our lives for a little bit, but we're back in cooking again. So it feels good to be back. I appreciate you coming on and vibing with me, Fred. Like like the audience has seen now. We go all over the place on this show, and you always go there with me. So I love that. So we'll definitely have you on for future episodes. What maybe we'll have a running.
I'll come back anytime. I would love to.
So that'll be fun. But to end this episode, we didn't really get much into Pickaxe Master like I was hoping for, but ran out of time. But
Well, maybe you could do it on one of your SANDBOX streams.
I was gonna say, and well, I wish I could maybe, well, maybe I could, but either way, I do have a Metaverse Spotlight scheduled with the Pickaxe Master, so we will be. Yeah. So I will be playing through this before.
We worked really hard to try to put together a nice tutorial that taught you how to play the game.
That's important, and I'm excited to play through it and check it out because I'm a big advocate for good tutorials, and also being able to skip the tutorial. Where to go? It must have been there.
It goes away once you start going into the tutorial.
Yeah, but being able to it should be there as an option for any game, in my opinion. Just because you never know how somebody found your game, and it could be just they randomly landed on it and have no idea what it is.
We gate our tutorial skip behind an NFT.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yep. You got to have at least a silver pickaxe.
That's even better. Then it's like you have to learn about it until we know so that you will enjoy this experience if you play it correctly. So until go through the tutorial.
You also get an easy mining tool if you have an NFT.
The best mining tool.
Yep.
All right, dude. What was that? Where the fuck were we at?
You were saying goodbye.
We were saying goodbye. Let people know where they can find you, where they can follow you, whatever else you want to promo or plug, and then we will actually say goodbye.
I'm at Fred and FERD. You can find me at Fred and FERD or at Frederick and Ferdinand. I'm a game maker for the Pickaxe Master. Check out the Pickaxe Master. The season is starting in 2 days, and it's going to be the best game in the sandbox. I also make games for Impossible Dream Studios, and we aim to help you put experiences on your land that are fun. And we're going to do that by selling passes that give you education for those games, or you can buy premium passes and just get all the logic done for you.
Fuck yeah. That was perfect. That's a great thing to end on. Thank you guys so much for being here. Make sure you go show love to Fred. And if you're looking at building on your land and you don't know what to do, sounds like he's going to have some things for you. That rhymed. Mic drop.
Mic drop.
Good night, y'all. Thank you for being here. Bye, chat.